That's right. A very good evening to each and every one of you, wherever you all are joining us from this evening. Welcome in the ring, pace and power, boots on the ground, share the live, smash that emoji button, good folks. We got some ways to go. And we're happy that all of you are here with us, each and every one of you, joining us from a lot of places, and we're truly happy about that. We're not braggadocious, but we're happy about that. Yeah, the same way we were very happy. A lot of people are happy that Joe Biden suddenly leading in the polls in the U.S. A lot of folks happy. Yep. A lot of folks happy. Folks, how are you guys doing there? We're seeing so many of you on the live. Pamela, we see you there. Good to have you on the live, Pamela. Good to see you, Diane Fordyce. Good to have you on the live. Abida Monroe is here too. Good to have each and every one of you. Leon Logan, yeah, a lot of folks happy, folks. A lot of folks are happy. A lot of folks. How y'all doing now? Please. How y'all doing? What happened to Babu John over the weekend, or Babu Jaan, depends on your pronunciation. How are you folks doing? A lot was said there, folks. A lot. You know, everyone different. Everyone different. Very different. You know, everyone very different. I know Jeddy Jagan was very culturally in touch. Very culturally in touch. Why did everyone turn up in a Chinese jacket? What's what's happening here? Folks, everyone okay? Everyone okay, that's what I want. Is everyone okay? Who can share the live? So Joan Stephanie. Eva Matches Garnett. Naomi, who can share the live? My God. Please and thank you. So much. Everyone said some things over the weekend. Please and thank you. Everyone said some things over the weekend. I know some of y'all done fed up with them. Evan said some things over the weekend. My God. My God. You know, the country he spoke about in the recent past, like I even recognize it. I even recognize it.
My friends, when you speak about democracy, I just want to take a quiet moment and look at all those who are talking now. They go with ease on social media, they let us color, and they can cuss any leader of the PPP. They can tell us what they want, and they can say what they want. Not so long ago, 4 years ago, for 5 years, these very people were afraid to say, oh. They were afraid to say, oh. Their mouth went somewhere else.
Yeah. Interesting. Like I recognize the country. I remember one man who worked for the last administration while using the administration every day on Facebook. And then when his contract came to an end, he went inside the political party. That's the country that I know we had. And we call it the good life. Leon Logan, Karen Fresco, Kyle. We call it the good life. Rastava. Where from get this? folks, folks, we got to fight carrots. We even start yet. We're just waiting for some of y'all to come in. The man cuts the government every day. And he worked with the government, you know. That was a nice time with no fear of retribution. And then when his contract came to an end, he went and started his own political party. That's the country I remember. That was a nice time. We call it the good life. I don't recognize the country Evan Ali spoke about at all. I don't recognize it. I don't recognize. He said some strange things. He turned up in some strange garments. And then he said some strange things. We even start yet.
When you look at the part-time program, if you have a low-income loan through that part-time program, you can repay every month that low-income loan and still have money in your pocket. And yes, we can do all at once, but something gotta be seriously wrong with your conscience if you cannot acknowledge today that life has become tremendously better in the last 4 years in this country. And it has become better for all segments of the Guyanese population. When you look at it.
Yep. Folks, if that's the case, if that's the yardstick, something wrong with my conscience. I'm even sad yet. If that's the yardstick, folks, something definitely very wrong with my conscience. If that's the yardstick we're going by. Huh? We better off in the last 4 years, and none of we feeling the oil money. And every Monday, like today, people writing in the Sabbath News, you telling the Sabbath News how things tight, how they're not getting by. Which country everyone is living in? Which country? We're going to circle back to some of that. We're going to circle back to some of that later on, folks. We got the opener for you. We got the opener. We got the opener. We got the opener. Y'all know her. I know her. We all know her. That's the opener tonight. She's the opener tonight. We all know her, good folks. She said the government wasting time. She said the government wasting a lot of time and insulting teachers too, who just asking for a little minimum wage. Why are we insulting our teachers? Why are we doing that? Take a look, folks. Take a listen to what the Manzo Walton Desire said recently.
The negotiation between the Education Ministry and the Guyana Teachers Union will continue tomorrow. The wider society supports the teachers who say that they want a livable wage. The government contends that it has done a lot for the education system.
Cardboard that they said that they've bought for the classroom isn't taken to the teacher's home.
Right.
And the teachers can't feed that to their children that need to take a lunch to school and to have breakfast in the morning and dinner at night.
Yeah.
And so what I find appalling is just how insulting the Guyanese and their, our intelligence.
Yes.
It's extremely insulting. Teachers are asking to be paid more. They're asking to be able to take home a better salary so that they can feed their families.
Member of Parliament Amanzo Walton this year said that the government and some in the society are insulting the teachers. The latest report was that the GTU wants the negotiations to include 2029. The Education Ministry wants the negotiations to begin from 2024.
I was disappointed that some people took it upon themselves to malign and to insult the teachers, the same teachers that they're now depending on to see their children through common entrance and through CXC. Those same teachers, a lot of them took the time to insult and to call them all kinds of names.
Yeah.
And this is where you see we have to be cautious about becoming caught up in the short-term emotions of things and not think things through.
She said that the livable wage for teachers shouldn't be an argument in any part of the world. Ms. Walton Desir recalled the comments by Brazilian President Luiz Inácio Lula during a recent visit to Guyana.
Said to Ali and Jagdeo, look, we honor collective bargaining. Most of my public servants and government workers are able to get substantial increases in their salaries because of this collective bargaining process. What he was basically saying to them is, look, you all need to understand the importance of honoring that process. It is for the betterment of your workers.
Yeah.
For the life of me, I cannot understand why the PPP government does not understand that happier workers make for a more productive, efficient country.
She said that during the tenure of the coalition, without oil money, the government was able to improve public service wages.
They don't want to understand. That's the whole thing. That's the opener, folks. They just don't want to understand. That's where they are. Let's bring you guys in very quickly. Some of the things we're following internationally and some of the things we're following regionally. As I did say, folks, for the first time, who knew? Joe Biden is leading in the polls after a while. Yep. In multiple polls, it say that's a fact check. When they check the pulse, just wanted to make sure they were alive. That's it. Test the pulse. Nobody encoding today. Not coding. No. Test the pulse. Yeah. Is it because of the State of Union last week? Let's test again in another week, folks, and see how we do. Let's test in another week and see how we're doing. Good to have each and every one of you on the live tonight, folks. Look what's happening. Look at what's happening locally. Well, not locally, regionally, that is. A baby, they're telling us. A baby. Oh, my God. This world gone. A baby was stolen in Jamaica. Yep. Believe it or not. Look, nothing is sacred anymore, Nothing is sacred anymore. Nothing. You see? Nothing is sacred anymore. You got to watch yourself out here, folks. You got to watch yourself. And this is this baby was stolen. Baby girl, 11-day-old, Kamoya robe. Kamoya Shantana robe was stolen from the Kingston Public Hospital compound. My God. Who would do such a thing? You got evil in this world, you know. You got evil in this world. Be hoping for this baby's safe return. Again, this is baby Kamoya Shantana robe. And we pray for her safe return and thoughts and prayers with her parents and her family, her extended family as well. Who would want to do that? You know, folks, you understand what we mean with this? You have to go someplace for some people. You have to go somewhere for some people. You understand what I mean in the streets? Huh? You'd see a little baby from my family. You'd see. You would see. Don't come around with funny like that. Don't do it. Don't do it. By the time we say that, folks, 2592, and you all know by now, once we get here, it's all downhill from here. It's all. You had some stuff happen. You had some stuff happen, folks. There at Babu Jaan. You hear some things. My God, you know, a lot was said there, but the right things aren't being said. A lot of delayed projects in this country. You know, we got the money now. So they're starting this, they're starting that. We don't have the capacity, and that's what we're saying. For instance, this Cemetery Road project. Y'all know we've been on this. What's happening there on Sheriff Street? What's happening there by Conversation Tree? A lot of projects being pushed back. One contractor get 30 contracts. How is he going to do all that? He get 50 men working with him. Contracting got a stall. What's going on, friends, family, and favorite? That's what's going on, folks. That's what's going on. And right away, we want to invite our guest tonight, one Annette Ferguson, who's been watching at these issues, folks, to talk to us a little bit about what she has observed. And then we come back at the other end. We touch on Babu John. We touch on some other things, folks, and we wrap it up. But first, folks, the one and only Member of Parliament, my colleague, MP Annette Ferguson, welcome to our broadcast. So happy to have you in the ring. I think this is your first. How are you doing?
I am well, thank you, Sherrod. A pleasant evening to you and your viewers and listeners. I just want to thank you once again for allowing me the opportunity to appear on your program. I think this is my first appearance of 2024. So may I take this opportunity in extending best wishes to you and the entire
Thank you so much.
Guyana and those in the diaspora and all those who tune into this program. A wonderful and blessed 2024.
Awesome. We received that. Annette, you're a former Minister of Government. You served both in the Ministry of Works, then Ministry of Public Infrastructure, and then Ministry of Housing. And you are very, very active even now as a Member of Parliament. You always on the ground. And one of those things you observed very recently as you are out there is the slothfulness in which this government is pushing ahead, well, trying to push ahead with some of the infrastructural work, especially in that area that you gave a lot of attention to, East Rheinveld, West Rheinveld, and other places. Talk to us about some of what you saw on the ground as you were making the rounds.
Thank you very much, Sherrod. Well, Sherrod, if I can provide some background to the project that is ongoing on the Cemetery Road stretch from from Princess Street way up to Mandela Avenue. But what is happening is that since in 2022, I recall reading an article carried by probably all the news outlets saying that, well, look, the Ministry of Public Works will be engaged in some infrastructural development on the Cemetery Road stretch, both on the eastern and western carriageways. And I think the project was earmarked for 475 million Guyana dollars, and the project should have been completed on July 19th, 2023. So you had perhaps a start period from November of 2022 to an end period of 2023. So, as a regular and a frequent user of that corridor, I have been keeping a close watch at what is happening. The project, I think, has been awarded to Avinash Construction and Scrap Metal Company or something to that effect. So perhaps there was a delay in start of the project, and the project started to move on stream. And what I recognized initially is that it started to do the concrete drains on both carriageway and also the metal mesh fencing on both carriageway. So you would recall that last year in the National Assembly, a number of questions were tabled by me to the Honorable Member Bishop Gwan Ejel, who is the Minister of Public Works. Because as I said, being a frequent road user of that corridor, I have some interest at the slothfulness in how the works are being executed. Many a times you don't see workers on the project site. Is just the equipment mobilized or the machines being mobilized there and parked in a corner. So when the goodly bishop provided the necessary responses on, it might have been the 4th of August, just before we went into recess, he made all sorts of accusation as to the reason for the delay in works. He spoke to the issue of superstitions. He spoke to the issue of the weather, amongst every other thing. However, at that time, he did not provide a end date as to when the project is likely to be completed. So early this year, January, yes, sometime in January of this year, 2024, taking my wrong to milk the works. So while engaging my constituents here on Cemetery Road, find out from them what is really happening, how have been coping with the infrastructural works ongoing. So, one resident complained bitterly about what other persons are enjoying in the area there, without the absence of those in authority, frequently engaging the residents to let them know that, well, look, this is when the project is likely to be completed. So on the spot there, I asked Mr. Indar, when is this project going to be completed? He gave me a time of an estimated time of February 2024. Well, you know that the budget was read and passed between January and February of 2024. And yet, these works have not been completed. So we're now in the month of March. But even before this month, I think what happened, it might have been early this month, I conducted another site inspection, seeing what is happening. Again, inadequate workers on the work site. And, I made my post via my social media platform, highlighting what I have recognized that is ongoing there. The drainage incomplete. You still got some areas not properly asphaltic. The absence of construction signs at night and a whole other things I was able to highlight. Lo and behold, the following day, so when I turned up there about 2 Mondays, and I did what I had to do, HL turned up the following day, threatening contractors to say that, well, look, he has now given them by March 31st, 2024, to have this project completed. And if not, the project will be terminated or the contractor will be terminated. So this is where we at with regards to the ongoing project there in Cemetery Road. I must let you know that over the weekend, I conducted another site inspection. So now I've noticed a number of machines on the ground. These guys, they're working into the wee hours of the night, just Saturday night.
Movements.
Yes, movement. So just Saturday night, Saturday night I was heading from Vincentian Road onto Cemetery Road. So when I got to Princess Street, I actually had to make a detour because I could not have continued on to Cemetery Road because they had barred off the area there. So I went around Princess Street, run into the garden, the burial ground area there, come up Sussex Street, and if you see the big what's called these lights? Is it flambeau lights or these big white lights that they would
Floodlights,
normally
yes, the floodlights.
lights and so forth. So the men are working into the weird hours of the night, and I guess during the course of this week, I will visit the area to see what is actually happening. Just yesterday I was in my constituency meeting with residents, and they too, because they too would access that area to get to where they have to go, and they got concerns. Why is it that this project is delayed? What is taking, why is it that the contractor can't complete the project on a timely basis? And they even reported to me that in their community, and I guess you might have seen it by way of the reports carried via social media, that Inda went into East Rumville there last Friday, signed contracts, with members of not even members of the East Rumville community. The meeting was held in East Rumville, but they brought persons from West Rumville and Lane Avenue to sign those contracts in order to execute works in the East Rumville community. One young lady was so upset. She said, MP Ferguson, how can this be fair to us? We are living in this community. And why is it that these people are bringing people out from our community to get works done? But you know what is happening, Sherrod? All these contracts, that $127 million in contracts, it is actually going to friends, families, and favorites. Those persons who have now found a new friend in the People's Progressive Party. Civic, they're the ones the People's Progressive Party Civic is using to ensure that they probably identify persons from the community, outside of the community that is, to get these contracts. So it's a whole lot of things that are going on in this country that is quite
Indeed.
unfair. A number of incomplete projects. Look, just early this afternoon, I was on Sheriff Street. They're doing some infrastructural works again, the Ministry of Public Infrastructure in Drury Lane there. You know how long this project started? You know how long this project started? So I am doing some further investigation to find out what
Is
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 really
this the one
happening.
that runs adjacent to Sheriff Street, or parallel rather to Sheriff Street, coming in
Yes,
from Conversation Tree, and you come
no,
all the way down?
no, not that
Okay,
one. It is running parallel to the New Camberville Secondary School. You know
mhm.
where Just Water is, I think?
Correct,
Where
right in the
Just
corner
Water
there.
is? Good, right?
Yeah,
Because it's opposite on the other side. So it's running.
that's Dennis going all the
Yeah,
way up.
exactly, running parallel to Dennis Street.
Correct.
The other area, I don't know if you've recognized, the other area that I noticed infrastructural works are being done. I can't recall us discussing this project at all in the National Assembly during the budget presentations. They're doing something on Homestretch Avenue,
Correct.
west
Correct.
of the new fire station. I don't know what is it, if it's a well to build it. I just don't know. And it is clearly
Correct.
saying to me,
Looks like
Sharon,
they probably put in eight lanes there, or maybe six. They're adding an extra two.
we can
MP
only
Ferguson,
assume.
uh, are you concerned? This Cemetery Road project with the supernatural forces and the spirits and so on. Are you concerned that that was just a local government election gimmick? Because the whole thing seemed to have gone very quiet, very dead after local government elections last year, And now they seem, since you have been speaking about it, to be bringing some life to the project there in the Cemetery Road. Are you concerned, one, that it was election gimmick, and perhaps that's what some of what we're seeing now? And then two, are you concerned? I noticed that a lot of the bridges there are very narrow. So we're putting a 4-lane in the cemetery. You have a 4-lane, and then you come to a bottleneck at the bridges. It's quite interesting.
Well, I am concerned, and I know for a fact that this project was an local government elections gimmick. You understand me? And you're absolutely correct, because the approaching bridge from Princess Street onto Cemetery Road, I don't know if they're going to do a wide bridge, but it looks to me that they're doing the western bridge at the moment, because if you look there, you have the steel beams already installed, and I think they're doing some casting at the moment. But when it gets to Sussex and Cemetery Road, I don't know what they're going to do, if they're going to widen that bridge, right? When you get to where, I don't know, um, I think, yeah, just Sussex and
Also by the
Cemetery Road,
market,
they
also
got
by
a double bridge.
East Independence Market, there's another narrow
Yes,
bridge.
yes, yes. You're absolutely correct. There's a wooden bridge on the western carriageway, and I think there's the concrete bridge on the eastern carriageway. So if you have a
It's quite,
continuation of this 4-lane from Princess, pardon,
I said it's
pardon.
quite interesting.
Exactly. So I guess we just gotta wait and see what the finished product would look like. And it's quite unfortunate that Guyanese are seeing these projects. You're not seeing like a design, a complete design of what a project would look like, by way of a billboard, so that the average layman can get an understanding of what this project entails. All you're
Yeah,
seeing is people showing up, areas excavated, and it's like probably just putting monies into the pockets of the friends, families,
yeah.
and favorites of the People's Progressive
It's
Party Civic.
It's interesting because as you head into the boulevard from Cemetery Road, that area was recently
Hmm.
redone. I think there's a plaque or something at the head there.
Yes.
But if they're going to
Hmm.
put a 4-lane there, they'd have to kind of move all of that they just built there. It's quite interesting because even on the other side, MB Ferguson, where you have the daycare just after Fremont Street there, you'd have to take in a lot of the parapet to make their 4-lane. Some people eke out a living right onto there if you're going to fix that bridge as you head across to
Hmm.
the market area. You'd have to move back all of those stalls or move them completely. So a lot of disruption. But as you said, it doesn't look like a lot of thought goes into these projects because you would have
No,
just
no.
built a huge monument of sorts, a huge welcome to the boulevard, something like that. Here,
Hmm.
finale did an opening there. But to put a 4-lane there, you'd have to break all that up now and start back from scratch. It's bizarre. It's bizarre. We need development for our country.
Exactly.
We have the money that we can do it, but we need quality roads. We need
Hmm.
projects that are undertaken. After thought has been given to it. After
Right.
studies have been done. But it's bizarre. You have a lot of 4 lanes leading to a lot of narrow bridges, and we're seeing the same thing too, even on the embankment and the railway embankment. There's lot like
Exactly.
you wake up and say 4 lane here, 4 lane going there, four
Exactly.
lane sir, but you're not considering the
Exactly.
bridges at all.
And
Interesting.
if I can make this point, you made reference to the what is happening there on the railway embankment.
Mhm.
Just last evening I traversed that corridor, and surprisingly, um, Sherrod, I recall several weeks ago, leading up to the heads of government meeting, the special meeting that they had here in Guyana. You had an overlaying of asphaltic concrete on that stretch with nice markings, road markings, pedestrian signs, and all manner of things in that area. If you travel that corridor now, Sherrod, on the southern side of that carriageway on the southern side where they're going up or coming down, they have excavated that entire area. Last night, there's the absence of any reflective lights to indicate that, well, look, danger is abound. You understand me? So what you find happening there, Sharon, is that you've just overlaid this particular area. Now, half of the area, three-quarter of that area, you have now excavated that area. What thought process went into that? Why waste money in the first instance to have the area overlaid when you know that couple days down the line you have to excavate because I guess they're widening the road, right? You have to excavate because they're widening the road. Why waste money to mark the roads when you could have done this on completion of the road widening? Because when they finish widening that road, Sharon, I guess the entire stretch they will have to asphalt it. That's one. And secondly, they will have to mark the roads, pedestrian signs, along with all the other road features that goes with it. So I just cannot understand the thought processes that are put into infrastructural projects when it comes to the People's Progressive Party Civic. It clearly it seemed to me it's a total waste of taxpayers' money. And as I have been writing and harping, whether by way of letters to the editor or on my Facebook page, is that the People's Progressive Party Civic, Sherrod and viewers, they do not have a holistic, a comprehensive, or a coherent infrastructural plan when it comes to the development of Ghana. We're not against, at least I am not against infrastructural development. But
Correct.
for me, we gotta take these things in strides. Why waste the monies when we know that people still hungry? People still got to
Correct.
deal with the cost of living when some of the monies could have gone in that direction to address the needs of our people in this country.
Well said. MP Ferguson, we have to leave it there. I don't want you to be a stranger. Come back. I wish we had more time to talk about a couple of other things because there's so much happening and so much substandard work. Continue to speak, continue to harp, continue to write as well. This is what an opposition does. And if this country is going where we think it's going, they need to hire a new team. I think I know a couple of
Exactly.
folks. Thank you very much.
You're most
MP
welcome,
Ferguson.
Sharon, and thank you very much for having me. God bless.
Excellent. Thanks again. Thanks again. Thanks again. Thanks again. Thank you, MP Ferguson, for joining us this evening. Folks, I'll let you know that the contractor is now saying it's a utilities company that's causing the delays. Helton says it's spirits. The contractor now says it's the utility companies. I know the utility companies are spirits. Their company is a spirit, but the contractor is blaming the utility company, and the folks on the ground blaming the contractor, that the contractor has one too many contracts. I tell you, the contractor has one too many contracts, and that's what happens. That's what's happening with the cemetery road project there, folks. Yep. It's a lot. I can tell you all, it's a lot. Them boys. Live. live from Babu John. live. The Babu John was different. It's different. It started out as something good. Now, I don't know what's happening there. I don't know. 0 points for them. Zero. 0 points for them boys at Babu John. Zero. It was a good man. It's these fellas I worried about. This from Babu John. I said that they talk a lot of things. Even some people are frightened under the new AFC government, afraid to criticize. He probably lived in a different country. He probably was in Dubai with the now finance, the man with responsibility for finance in the office. Blah, 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 blah. You know the whole length of it, folks. He was with Ashley perhaps in Dubai because he talked about a different country. He said, we're better off now. Yeah, better off in the last 4 years. Tell the folks who talk to Savage News every Monday, talking about how the cost of living, beating them over the head. Yep. Tales from Babu John, folks. Tales, a lot of tales. A lot. It's a lot. It's plenty of stuff. And then the man gets philosophical. You know, everyone got to pick a struggle, folks. Everyone got to pick a struggle. Everyone got to decide whether you want to be a priest, a mage, a bandit, or you want to be a politician. You got to pick a struggle. The man got into deep philosophical thought about the soul of man, the soul of the nation. Take a look, take a listen.
You remember the soul of the nation came after colonial rule. We were not a nation during the colonization. Our soul was still being directed from external hands. So the soul, when Comrade Shelley got together with the Political Affairs Committee, what was the first struggle? The first struggle was to advance Guyana.
Yeah. There he was waxing lyrical folks in the soul. There was no soul before colonialism, right? But during colonialism, they were directing the soul. Yeah. folks, stick to politics. I beg your earphone. Left philosophy for them boys who understand there was no soul during colonialism. But after, right? But during, they were directing it from elsewhere. Yeah. Irfan. But no one thing they kept harping on. One thing they kept harping on. Oh, the detractors. Fear us, they say. Fear us. Fear us. Say, better examine these detractors. That's what Irfan said. Examine them boys. Examine them boys. That's what he said.
And in those 28 years, there were many who were thought to be the intellectual crafters and architects of Guyana. There were many who were believed to be the voice of the conscience of Guyana. There were many who were led to believe to be better than Comrade Shelley Jagan and the leadership he was providing. But then, all of them, history will record all of them as being part of aiding and abetting the rigged system and the freedom that was taken away from the Guyanese people. Examine each one of them. Just like today, there are many who speak from the platform that they are the consciousness of the society, that they constitute the intellectual elements of the society, that they can provide better leadership than the People's Progressive Party. My friends, examine deeper their motive. Examine deeper what their aspirations are.
Yeah. Like I gotta examine them. What is a bad? You know, any person, any group of person, sure, it must be allowed to come and to articulate their ideas. But the frightened, you see, the frightened Glenlal split the votes, the frightened Asruddin Mohammed split the votes, if he take all of it. That's what all of that is about. And of course. Oh, Father. Irfan is a gift, you know. Irfan is a gift. Lucky Thursday. I never heard Lucky Thursday, but thank you, Irfan.
I went to a community and they said, we can't wait for Lucky Thursday. So I said, why call it Lucky Thursday? They said, who will get last lucky? But what Lucky Thursday is about?
Yep. I thought Lucky Thursday was the only day people don't get robbed in this country. You don't get kicked down, you don't get shot, you don't get killed, you don't get raped, you don't get murdered. I thought that was Lucky Thursday. For me. I thought that was Lucky Thursday. I didn't know it's press conference of who get lash. Right? Like Jack Hughes, rob a man. He dropping lash, you carrying off your valuables. Yeah, never have a Lucky Thursday in my life. But thank you, Irfan. Thank you, Irfan. And of course, Jack Leo continued. When he came, spoke last, speech address. Irfan, whenever we learn, speech address, again, aimed at his detractors, Ashridin and Glenn, aimed at Christopher Ram and, the folks who got him trembling in the boots with the truth. Take a look, take a listen.
They promised them, and this brings me to another issue. They promised trustworthiness. What is the currency of a political party? What's the only thing that you can believe in a party? It's not how people look who run the party. It's not how they look, their ethnicity, etc. It is their program, not just how much they can promise, because everybody can promise. Glenn Love could promise you the moon and the star. You got all kinds of some who are trying to challenge us, but they better be cautious. They got to come right. Because it's a free country politically, but they may have interpreted our being quiet as a sign of weakness. It's not so. When the right time comes, we deal with them. But you have others who talk all the time, outdoing each other for promises, making promises. So, is it the promise that you judge a party by, or by its delivery of the promises? APNU made promises.
Oh, we still holding for a lot of things. We still holding for a lot of things because the pensioners, 50% for public servants, free education. Folks, it's the promises. You gotta watch them. Eon, Naomi Druckers, public servants, teachers, nurses and doctors, soldiers. It's the promises. Wayne Brown, Ingrid, Claudette, Desmond Harris. Tales from Babu John, folks. Tales from Babu John was like amateur night at the Apollo. Amateur night at the Apollo. You know what they can't? You know what is fighting them? Robust opposition from every quarters. Every morning they wake up. Tabak News lashing them. Glenn Lal lashing them. Ashridin Mohammed killing them with kindness. They can't take it. They think everybody got coming hat in hand to sue her away them, put a mile on them. Everybody wants something from them. They don't like people with independence. That's the problem with them. They hate it. They don't like people with independence. Tales and Babu John, folks. So sad. We got to move on. For information, yep. They just meet 3 days here. CARICOM talked about Haiti. And I don't know what it did. I don't know what they said. I didn't tell us to talk 10. What do you think? You just meet and very symbolically you talk about Haiti, you talk about Haiti, and the problems will dissolve. Well, things have escalated since then. Henry can't even go back in his own country. He's trapped in Puerto Rico, tried to go to the Dominican Republic quite recently. People said, not here. Not here. We're struggling, we struggle. So they got to run and meet now. CARICOM leaders in Jamaica. Some of them ain't want nothing, Some of them ain't want nothing. Blinken said, me got time to talk 10. I mean business. And Blinken flew down from Washington to meet with CARICOM leaders there. In Jamaica, 4 days ago, they met here, big fanfare. A lot of money spent that could have been put back into the Caribbean economy. Because they're not doing the hard work. Stop with these photo up nonsense. And then more trouble now because Irfan is chairman. Lincoln flew down there to meet them. He said, what y'all doing, folks? What y'all doing? We need a plan. And then we have to have the capacity to implement the plan. Well, people in capacity. That's why we're seeing all these stalled projects. If you depend on them, we don't have no skin in the game. Henry had to go and meet with the Kenyans for policemen. That's why you get locked out now. And we're meeting. What madness is this? You think Blinken would ever be part of this? Caribbean leaders, come on, shape up or ship out. Ever learning, but never coming to the knowledge of the truth. Meeting after meeting after, wasting taxpayers' dollars, man. Half, 3/4 of them need to be sent home. Wasting taxpayers' dollars. Meeting, to what end? To what end? Huh? To what end? We can't even move the graphic now. To what end, good folks? All manner of things. Diverse 70. To what end? We're meeting ever learning, good folks, but we're never coming to the knowledge of the truth. That's what we are here. And we got to do different, and we got to be different. Yeah, I've lost the graphic now. Ever learning, but never coming to the knowledge. That's the problem that we got in this place. That is the problem. We got too many show horses. You see? Too many show horses in CARICOM. CARICOM and CARIGON. Now I got to play this one by ear. I got played by ear. Who vex? Signs of the times, folks. That's the kind of region we're in. Signs of the times. Folks, as we have the outcome of that meeting, more plans and meetings of meetings and meetings to have meetings, we can let y'all know. Signs of the times. Look what we're following here. Ministry of Health says it's following up on the death of a 19-month old baby. You know, the death is being investigated. This baby, according to the reports, went to several places for attention. We don't know the fullness yet. Right? So before we start lashing the Ministry of Education, the Ministry of Health, before we start lashing the Ministry of Health, let's wait to see what some of the investigation says. And that's what some of that on that front says. Playing it by ear. Accident report. Wow. Daily occurrences. Motorcyclist Demal Trim had an accident, folks, on the East Bank. My Lord. Father, help we. Thoughts and prayers with his family.
Police are investigating a fatal accident which occurred at about 21:35 hours last night on the public road at Magdum, East Bank, Demerara, in the vicinity of the Guyana Shore Base, Inc. The accident resulted in the death of motorcyclist Demal Trim. Trim, 26 of Lot 16, Bel-Air Village, Georgetown, sped past several vehicles on his motorcycle before slamming into a motor lorry which was proceeding on the Rome Access Road to proceed farther east across the Magdum Public Road. A police report.
Our apologies, dear folks. Our apologies. Here it is again.
Police are investigating a fatal accident which occurred at about 21:35 hours last night on the public road at Magdum, East Bank, Demerara, in the vicinity of the Guyana Shore Base, Inc. The accident resulted in the death of motorcyclist Demal Trim. Trim, 26 of Lot 16, Bel-Air Village, Georgetown, sped past several vehicles on his motorcycle before slamming into a motor lorry which was proceeding on the Rome Access Road to proceed farther east across the Magdum Public Road. A police report stated that Trim's motorcycle collided with the rear portion of the motor lorry, which caused him to fall onto the road surface and skid into the rear side wheel of the lorry. As a result of the collision, he sustained injuries. He was picked up in a semi-conscious condition and transported to the Georgetown Public Hospital, where he was seen and examined by a doctor and eventually died while receiving treatment.
Yep, there's a lot of things, folks. And that was the accident report, folks. The fire report. They're telling us, folks, on the Quarantine River today, the Oriala Water Ambulance burst into flames. Yep, that's what they're telling us. Just burst into flames. That's how we have to, folks. Not a day goes by, someone doesn't come bust in this country, them burst into flames, some of them burn down. The crossing PPP. Crossing PPP. It's August 2nd, 2020. One thing to the next, folks. You know we're talking the truth. One thing to the next. Soon you come home. Yep. And then crime. Look what happened, folks. Saxakali. Akim Wong, the escapee from Mazaruni prison, is said to have perpetrated this double murder at Saxicali of a mother and a son. Our thoughts and prayers are with that family. Robson, we're doing in any other country. Robson done gone home. Our thoughts and prayers with the Gomes, David and Nellie Gomes of Saxicali, survived by a 6-year-old who sent a WhatsApp voice note to his father's friend, notifying him what had transpired. A 6-year-old. The authorities sit down on their hands. Crime spiraling, folks. Crime spiraling. All the time, people doing the most. The most. Government said it remains committed to the Venezuelan migrants. You see, their priorities mix up. Mix up priorities. I'm happy for them, you know. Go down the road with that. Go down the road. This country can speak just now. Go down the road with that. As Candy would say, oh, scraps. Oh, scraps, finally. Is it 3 years later? How long did St. Mary's secondary school burned down? How long ago? They said they're now fixing it. Construction now on the way. How long, folks? How many budgets since? Yeah? How many budgets since? They can't chew and walk at the same time, you know. They'd fall down. They would fall. How long is this St. Mary's burn down? Somebody do the math for me. Help you out with the maths, folks. Help you out with the maths. So, you know, we say, folks, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime, please, and thank you. Don't do it. Remember we told you that woman who was shot in Berbice the other day, heading into her premises, and she was shot? Well, oh my Lord. The younger they come, folks, the younger they come in. Daniel Greenwich is being accused. He's a Budan housing scheme there in Region 6 of shooting that woman. This is DREO's mother, I think. Something of the sort. I don't know what currency is that. Daniel Greenwich, you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Stay on the right side of the law. We always say, just as a quick update on that, folks. The closer, tales from Babu Jaan. But we ain't going there. All the talk, talking the things at Babu Jaan. A lot of untruths and flat out lies. Paul Slow, former Assistant Commissioner of Police, senior policeman, he said his government lawless. Lawless. This administration, the PP regime. Take a look and take a listen. The closer.
Retired Assistant Police Commissioner Paul Slow says that the government has no respect for the rule of law, and he provided the evidence for his comments. In his podcast, he spoke of the now departed former President Janet Jagan, who tossed a writ served by a marshal over her shoulders in full public view. He spoke of the action of the Chief Cooperative Development Officer who wrote to the newly elected members of the Guyana Public Service Credit Union.
I referenced earlier, I alluded earlier to the fact that this is a pattern of disregard for the code, disregard for the law. And let me give some other examples or other issues, other things that happened over the past question. And I say that the government, the CEO wrote this memo, and I'm saying here that the action of the CEO, and I'm referring to the CEO, and now you might have to join this man from the Ministry of Labor, right? Speaks to a culture of lawlessness.
He said that the court had ruled in an action that saw President Ali violating the Constitution.
That ruling is almost a year. When we are March 24th last year, Justice Gino Prasad ruled that he violated the Constitution when he unlawfully suspended the Police Service Commission, of which I was the chairman.
Slow then pointed to an incident involving Prime Minister Mark Phillips, who he said lied in an affidavit.
Then you're going on, you had the Attorney General, same Muammar Anil Nandalal, SC, MP, being accused by the CCJ of bringing that body into disrepute. And I'm saying this thing because they're there for public record. So, you know, they like to sue. They even sue. So who else they're going to sue? They're suing, and they sue. So if they sue, they could sue anybody else. But I'm making sure that everything that I say are factual. Right? So let them go. Then we had a situation where the government of Guyana, the current government, refusing orders of the court. When the court ordered that the police officer, Ramsey, and the people from the, what is this that we got the Guyana Postal and Telecommunication Workers Union, to be paid pension and all that. Up to now, those those orders have not been fully satisfied. Up to
The
now.
extension of the service of the acting police commissioner Clifton Hicken was referenced. Lowe said that the president's decision was arbitrary. The court upheld President Ali's action, but Lowe said that the manner in which the extension was done was without regard for the law.
Who can forget Priya Manik Chan, the current Minister of Education in Parliament, calling out rape in Parliament during a raucous they had there some time back. Who can forget that? All is lawlessness. All of that is lawlessness. The rancorous behavior in Parliament, where Nigel Dharamlal, a PPP member of Parliament and Minister at the time, telling a female member of Parliament, you want a dildo in Parliament. That type of lawlessness we're talking about.
Lowe spoke about the police inspector, Pram Narain, who was reportedly rude to a magistrate.
And was rude to a magistrate to the extent where she had to cite him for contempt and sentence him to 7 days in prison. I know they went the same night they went to the Chief Justice, and the Chief Justice said that the punishment was harsh, but the Chief Justice never reversed the fact that he was guilty of contempt. What she did, she said that he is going to she gave remission of the sentence, so that he will remain there up to 4:30 in the afternoon, and then he was allowed to go.
Prashandat Ramana, police superintendent, arrested a lawyer for advising our client not to say anything. He was later promoted despite being sanctioned.
Yeah, and that was the closer, folks. Thanks for joining us this evening. You heard it, folks. It's lawlessness. Closer by the one and only former assistant commissioner of police, senior policeman, Mr. Paul Slow. Wrapping it up there for us, folks. Yep, that being said, folks, that's our time, good folks. And that's our program. Thanks for being here with us and just under an hour and walking through these many issues of the day with us, folks. Have a fantastic rest of the evening. Albert Smith, Onessa Wardine, Jamal, Donna, Ingrid, Pretty Melissa, Joylyn Cook, good to have all of you there. Good to have you, Volmir Wilson. Good to have you, Marcy Egan. Rastaman, we see you there as well. Mark. Good to have you too, Lyndon Gill, and all the other folks. Let me go. It's time to wrap it up, folks. Have a fantastic rest of the evening. Donna Miller and all the other folks who stayed with us, folks, a little bit in the overtime tonight. Auntie Sandra Hanover and Debbie Collins, the whole Collins clan. Good to have you all on this evening. Ivan, that's our time, folks. That's our program.